everybody can roll with them. Hey, right. Where are we? Let's get on the way. Parish Council. Have we got any people who've not come in first, Andrew?
Yeah, the apologies are from Sam Godron for work, Steve Brown on holiday,
Right.
Michelle Brown on holiday, Sue Fowler ill,
Right.
and Steve Bauer at
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Right, so just to alert members that the meeting is being filmed by a member of the public.
Everything's behind, so yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Did you need another one?
I don't know if I'm staying, to be honest, if it's
If
being
you're going to
filmed.
say it's entirely yours, you know that, it's entirely
Yeah.
yours. If you don't want to stay, don't stay. It's can't be any different.
Don't sleep back here, eh?
Oh no, but
Approach mine.
Sit in the back, so we see.
it's I have to come and film in your meetings, won't I? You know. Yeah.
Right, Chair.
Sure. Sure that's. Right, let's move on nice and steadily. Oh, finance officer, oh yes. To receive apologies done that. Declaration of members' interest, anybody? Yes, love.
Mine, I'm a member of the Valley Borough Council Planning
Right.
Board, so
Okay.
As long as we know.
if you want me to leave, I don't know if there are any planning applications. I mean,
None to worry about.
Not to worry about that, no.
yeah.
No, that's okay. Public speaking, so I believe that you'll probably want to speak first, will you?
We've come along, normally we just come along in case anybody's got anything to ask us or anything to
Have you
report.
anything to report to us?
Nothing major that I need to know. There's been a recent young person that's been causing a lot of mayhem and antisocial behaviour in the last probably at least 3 years.
Right.
And we've finally got him to court and got a civil injunction on him. So we're hoping, unfortunately the parents don't seem to be terribly supportive of this and seem to reward behaviour, which is obviously part of the battle that we've got. But hopefully I would like to think that now it's got to this stage that they will actually take notice and perhaps try and rein it in a little bit.
Right.
So unfortunately because of his age we can't disclose his name or his identity. Obviously we are all well aware of who he is. But what I would say is I would encourage anybody that witnesses any antisocial behaviour taking place in the area of any form, whether it be youth or drug dealing, anything like that, is please report it to us.
Right.
Because then as well, if it is the young individual that we can identify as involved, then obviously we can take even further action. It may be that we have power of arrest as well, such things. So obviously we've not had that prior to get the civil injunction.
Well, from my personal point of view, the people on the scooters are about, they're just a damn nuisance.
The e-scooters.
No, where we live on Argyle Street, they're going to kill somebody.
Are we talking about e-scooters or motorbikes?
The
Scooters?
motorbikes and scooters, well, both motorbikes and scooters are a nightmare. Wheelers, they laugh at you, tell you to F off, and it's awful.
It
You can't
is a
do
big
anything with
issue.
them.
It is one of our priorities, policing priorities still. The problem that we're getting is it's the same group of individuals.
Yes, it is.
And as fast as we are taking these bikes, seizing the bikes, they acquire new ones by various means. I mean, we've got people that we've got points on the licence before they've even got a licence, if that makes sense.
They don't wear helmets or anything, nothing.
No, and it's just the
Plates
case that one of these days something terrible will happen, and then
Definitely.
obviously they might. I don't even think then they'll listen, but
No, they're not.
it is a battle, an ongoing battle that we're having, and we are trying as fast as we can. But like I say, as quick as we're seizing them.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have seen a couple of weeks ago there was a young lad that we took one off him, and there was a full domestic debate took place on our social media between various parts of the family involving this person.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem to sort of make it any difference really to certain individuals. So it's a tricky one, but we are trying. But it's not just an issue sort of Langley Mill or Hena, it's a county-wide issue. It's not just a thing around here,
It's all over the country, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all over the country, right, said that.
Yeah, and obviously we've got the issue with motorbikes being stolen, and then obviously they're being sold on or burnt out, abandoned places. We've had quite a bit of that.
Is there no way that the parents could be punished in some way?
Well, it'd be easier, wouldn't it? It would be
Used to have
slightly easier
that
if
sort
we
of
could
thing years ago.
address parents, but unfortunately not. And the problem is that we get them to court, and the courts, because they're juveniles, they want to educate them rather than
Yeah, smack on
incriminate
the
them.
wrist and don't
And this
let
is the
them.
problem, so there's not really any sort of detriment in them doing it, and they're like the peacocks swanning around doing what they want to do. So it's
Yeah.
frustrating for us, because as much as we're trying, the courts don't really support that. So it's, I mean, it's really good achievement that we've managed to get the civil injunction on this lad. So we shall see.
If you say they've been known for a few years, how old are they then? No?
Well, the thing is, they're starting at like 10, 11 years old. He's now 15, this particular lad.
It's awful, isn't it? It is, it's awful.
It's like the roads, unfortunately.
I think, like I say, some parents are very supportive and they're mortified once we get involved, but then you've got other parents, like I say, I mean, they're not, this particular individual's parents, they're not even bad people. They're very nice people, got good jobs, lovely house, but his behaviour is being rewarded all the time. So we go round and deal with him, we've had bikes taken off him, all sorts of different things, but he gets rewarded by buying him new clothes or, oh, we'll take you on holiday. To me, that's not really the right kind of punishment and way to do it.
Well, in
I can't
my
count
view, they're not a very good role model. Whether they got money or whatever they have, they're not a good role
Exactly.
model, are they? Because they're
They're not
rewarding
particularly
him for doing what
parenting
he's
well,
doing.
but it's not my place to tell them how to parent.
Oh, no, but I'm just saying it's terrible.
Yeah, so you can see why he carries on, because he's not really,
He's
it's not like he's
rewarded.
being grounded or he's having things
No.
taken off him or
No.
anything. His life just carries on.
Can I just bring one item up?
Yes.
A lady came in from Lovett Drive,
Lovett
the
Drive.
place just up there,
Yeah.
and she said she'd had a problem over the summer, sort of with footballs being hit at cars, at doors. She's gone out and she got some verbal abuse, and they didn't even walk the next day, and it's been happening all the way through the 6 weeks holidays. I said, well, maybe it'll cease when we go back to school, but apparently it's not.
Does she live on there?
Yes, she does.
Because we've done quite a few activities down there on Lovett Drive, haven't we, with, over the summer, with Futures Housing, with Sporting Futures, with all different agencies.
She's never come up,
And
said anything to us,
nobody's,
that
yeah, nobody's
Yeah.
This is a
approached
problem
us.
we're having, nobody reports anything.
She's had to have a
So
new
it's stuck.
front door because it's
Yeah.
that badly damaged.
Really?
That's what she told me.
Do you know how much she lives at by any chance?
No, not off my head, no. I wrote it down in my jotted down like that.
I mean, if it's getting to that sort of level, you would like to hope that she would have reported it.
I did give your numbers.
Because there are all Futures properties on there,
Yeah.
so I'm sure Futures, it would have been Futures that would have repaired the door or replaced it. So I'll speak to the housing officer about that,
Yeah,
see if
okay.
they can made
Yeah,
aware.
yeah. Thank you.
Has anybody else got anything for the police officers? Yes.
Earlier in the year, I know there was a bit of an issue with shoplifting, and I just wondered how that was going, whether it's improved or whether it's still
Well,
an
funny you
issue.
should say that. It's a difficult one because the people that we've identified for shoplifting have obviously gone to prison. Well, it's not obvious, but they've now been caught, they've gone to prison. However, we're getting a lot of cross border, so we're getting a lot of Nottinghamshire criminals coming over here because they're not known to security staff, shop staff, they're not being recognised. So we are being hit at the minute by quite a lot of knots, not just around here, but they're travelling across to Ilkeston as well. So, yeah, I think all our outstanding shoplifters at the minute are all knots nominals.
So not locals, yeah.
So, yeah, and the thing is, we struggle because shops don't necessarily report it to us. So it's us that are going into the shop saying, have these people been in here, have you been hit by... Because they'll sort of target something, so at the minute, like, they'll target a load of alcohol. So they'll fill trolleys and just walk out. And then they'll travel back to wherever they come from in knots. But it's not until we're going in there saying, we have a look, oh yeah, we have. So we're sort of prompting them to have a look, and then they're realising, well, actually, yeah, we have.
And is the policy now that security guards aren't meant to sort of try and apprehend shoplifters? Obviously, they should report it to you.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not-
certainly, I
they're
would
not-
never recommend any security staff would challenge or try and stop them, because
No.
you just don't know what weapons they might have on them. So I would never tell anybody to. I do know that Co-op at Langley Mill, they were, for some reason, Co-ops always seem to get targeted. I don't know if it's because they're open late, the smaller stores, they don't tend to have security, I don't know what it is, but generically, Co-ops do get targeted. Co-op at Langley Mill have now got security, but they're plain clothes, so it's not obvious they've got security, and it's actually worked really well. So it's definitely a positive step we've taken there. I think unfortunately shoplifting is one of them things that is going to be around forever, because it's an easy fix for people, isn't it?
Yeah.
They
It's
take
unfortunate
stuff.
when it's people coming in from the outside, but obviously I appreciate there's not a lot you can do apart from liaising with your colleagues.
Yeah, I mean, it's even sort of yesterday we've identified that there was a couple of females that were coming across from like other side of Nottingham. We identified the vehicle they're using. They were hitting here, Lidl, Asda, Tesco's, various stores at Ilkeston, and we've managed to track them, and we actually got them yesterday, locked them up. So it's just sort of, they don't just like go to one shop. It's like their job,
It's
if
a
you know
criminal
what I mean.
activity.
Yeah. So it's one of the things you're never going to get rid of it, but it's just sort of trying to identify who it is. And they're obviously taking things that they can get rid of easily as well. So it's predominantly alcohol, laundry goods, that's always a common one.
Cheese.
So cheese and coffee, yeah, they're always good ones.
That's one of the biggest size thing. that
Oh
the
yeah, big
shoplifters
chunks
want.
of cheese. Yeah, because they can get rid of it. Someone says, oh, do you want that for a £5? And it's like, I don't know, how much?
30 quid's worth, yeah, you can
Yeah.
say, yeah.
You'd take it, wouldn't you? And that's, they're happy, they've got their £5 and off the truck to go and get whatever they want to get.
So, I'm a little bit confused here, because when I went to school, security is security. So basically what you're saying is then that some security don't do anything, they just stand there.
I think they're just acting
It's
as
just the way that you
deterrents.
portrayed it.
Yeah, they're not allowed to,
So,
each different store has different policies, but generally, all the security I speak to at sort of Asda, Tesco, I mean they're the only ones I know that have security around here,
Yeah,
they're not allowed to, once they've passed that sort of threshold of the door, they're not allowed to go after them, they're not allowed to
so
stop
they can
them.
tell you what they want.
Essentially, yeah. I mean, Asda, they've had hot tubs, televisions, you name it, they've had them just walk out with it.
And security just watch them.
I think they might say, oi, what are you doing? But they're not allowed to physically grab hold of them to stop them. Purely because of the risk.
What a world we live in, aren't we? Honestly.
All the years I worked in retail, one of the main things they told us as safety was,
Yeah.
let them take it, just
The
let them
thing
take
is,
it.
you just don't know these days what
Oh
weapons
no,
they've
I
got on them.
understand that.
You know
They've
what I
got
mean?
knives.
Well, I mean, this is going, I've been in retail 20 odd, so we're going back quite a few years, but even then it was, don't argue, you being alive is 100% a lot more
Yeah.
important
Yeah,
than whatever they walk out
Yeah,
with.
that's the thing.
I
isn't
mean, it makes you mad. I'm not saying it don't, and I did change somebody once, but you got angry. But you know,
and this is the thing. So this guy at the
but this is
because
years ago before they
apparently
had
because he's in plain clothes, he is allowed to go after them. Which I'm not sure how this policy works, but I'll leave that with Co-op. That's their insurance. But he has, and he is allowed to go after them.
Is
So
he
he-
allowed to take a picture of them? Because then you've got evidence, haven't you?
They all wear these now, body worn.
Either security
Yeah.
cards.
Yes,
So
every
they would-
every
they'd have
security
a picture.
person I've seen have all got these body worn cameras. So we've got that. But yeah, I mean, I've seen footage of the guy up at Co-op having rolling around on the floor with people. But again, he's been threatened with knives and all sorts.
It's the risk.
And this is the risk that they've got. So this is why I would always say to people, it's not worth that risk. Because if something happens to them, are they insured? If they're outside of that store, that's the problem that you've got.
Such a shame.
And if they're organised criminals, as opposed to somebody just being a bit desperate and going to pinch a couple of bits of grocery, you know.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
They're
when
more
you get
likely
the
to
odd
be violent,
person
aren't
that's
they?
perhaps struggling for money and things and they're hungry, and they will just go and take a sandwich and a can of pop and whatever else. You can kind of accept that. I'm not saying it's right, but
No.
do you know what I mean? We can help them people.
Yeah.
But when there's people that are career criminals,
Yeah.
they're doing it, that is their job.
Yeah.
But the problem is they have that much of a routine and the same sort of pattern and their same methods that they get caught very quickly.
Right.
That's good.
So, yeah.
Some of them anyway. Anybody else? No? Well, thank you.
No? You happy for us to leave at that
Yes.
point? Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alright, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank
Oh,
you.
well, anytime.
No problem. Yeah, good night.
All right, bye.
They're coming more often than they used to.
Yes, they are, which is
Yeah.
good to say that, yeah, because it's stopped
They're-
we
they're
all together,
coming more-
didn't
they're
it?
coming more,
Stopped.
but at least they're coming more often.
Yeah. It must be, it's hard work, isn't it? And as I say, it just sounds like security, what they're saying is, there's nothing they can do, they just stand there, don't they? What can you do? Probably got a knife in his, you know, I can understand that side of it, but it just seems so futile, isn't it, that they're just standing there and can't do nothing, you know? Because at the end of the day, it's still a crime, isn't it? You can't just go in and just take a microwave and walk off with it, should you? But there we are. I don't think we're expecting any different, really, do we?
People carry all stuff still.
Oh,
You never know, do
dear,
you, what
dear.
they've got.
I know.
That's what they always do, it's
I
just
know,
never
I know.
know.
Well.
Chair, did I suggest Charlie might want to speak at this point? Do you want
Right.
to give the public view on the children's centre? It is an agenda item later for the members, but at that point it ought to be the members only. So I don't know whether you want to say anything now or update the members since the last time they saw
Yeah.
you.
I don't know who was here last time. Anybody remember me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have had some progress. I've spoken to Derbyshire County Council. I've spoken to Amber Valley CVS as well to help us with funding. So we are quite a bigger group now. So we have Alan at Derbyshire County Council did come back to me with quite some positive information, and he would be open to us offering on the said centre, and my colleague involved has prepared a business plan which I think I've forwarded to you, and then Alan's come back to us since we phoned him, and I've prepared a response to his email which is in draft format while my colleagues look at it at the moment. So we are at this moment in time proceeding down towards an offer stage whereby we've got to get the place valued ourselves by the district valuer. We're waiting on a condition report of the building from Derbyshire County Council. Apparently we've had it, but we don't seem to have received it. So we will be looking into that as soon as I can get hold of Alan again. And yeah, I've prepared a nice response, which I do have, which would probably be an assistance to the police officer that just left, but it's far too detailed for the time that they would have. So I've detailed, basically I've answered his email. And it's quite a bit of blurb at the moment, and we're going through tidying it up and adding in, and we've put proof points in. And basically, to get this centre below the cost price, we are required to prove that it would be, it would improve the area in terms of social improvement, environmental well-being improvement, or economic improvement. So I've asked my colleagues with what they've been doing in the Langley Hill area to put me some examples together, and I have put some examples together with what we've done so far on a Wednesday afternoon of how we've intervened with anything from a young man who's got himself his first job to the £300 no longer getting it winter payment, and where to go and what to do and who to see. So I've put these examples together, how it's improved people's health and their social airs and graces, and I've put this in We've got some funding. We've received a promise of some funding. Obviously, it depends on them giving us the building or not. But basically, we were ousted, by the way, last week there, and the building is currently standing unused and empty. Not last Wednesday, the Wednesday before, and this Wednesday just gone, we've been moved to the Baptist church. So I've just been down and spoken to the people at the Baptist church, and they've given us their room there for Wednesday afternoon. So we are continuing. It's a little bit different, but very warm in there. And so we're continuing, and I'm feeling quite positive. I did put lots of things in, and I also mentioned that the council would be interested in being. So I said we would like to purchase the children's centre building, previously the Elderly Persons Aldercar Langley Welfare Centre, for use as a community hall. We refers to the following persons or groups: Enriching Communities CIC, Andrew Quinn et al. Aldercar and Langley Friends, Charlie Burnley et al. And by the way, I'm in the process of turning Aldercar and Langley Friends social group into a CIC, because quite a few members of the group have been interested in continuing forward. Yeah. Then there's a councillor involved, and then the good people groups from the main interested parties are all based in and or live in the Aldercar and Langley Mill area. Furthermore, we've garnered interest from other parties in the area willing to invest in time, space and funding. These are Co-op Langley Mill. They have, because the building, they're saying that they need to split the building, and they couldn't give us car parking. I've actually been to see the nursery manager, because the next process is, if we don't purchase this building, they will close the nursery. The nursery will have to go and find space elsewhere, and at the moment in Langley Mill that's premium. And they will flatten the land, and it's prime housing. The little bit behind the green, nobody's using that piece of land, so it's just behind the bus stops on the main road. That actually belongs to the Co-op. We found that out, and the Co-op are quite happy for us to utilise that for parking anyway. I did put together something about easements and disabled parking for access to the building, but also said that if they were unwilling to do that, then we're prepared, and we wouldn't go. In fact, I looked at it quite a lot. We've been in negotiations with the Co-op regards to parking. Thus, purchase of car parking on the grounds is not essential, although we have successfully shared the space with the nursery on a Wednesday afternoon for the last 18 months. We've spoken with the nursery manager with regards to our proposals, and the nursery manager has agreed in principle that she is happy for this arrangement to continue. In fact, she was more than happy for that arrangement to continue, because she does not want to see A, herself closed down, or B, that building next to her go to rack and ruin. This would be most beneficial for our disabled users, where an allotment of, say, 2 disabled spaces would be most satisfactory on a shared basis rather than through sale. We would not seek adverse possession of 2 such spaces under Section 62 of the Law of Property Act 1925, but we would need an easement of 2 parking places. If such an easement arrangement as above cannot be considered, then we would revert to our negotiations with the Co-op, which in my mind would probably be better anyway. It's a better parking area, less chance of running any little sprogs over when they're coming out of the nursery. Negotiated with the Co-op and use an alternative entrance to the centre via the front gate and current fire escape at the front of the building, or again via the front gate and the path to the current main entrance. Not ideal for disabled users, but in this situation we would not encroach upon the car park land. We're also in receipt of an EPC, which is the reason why they won't rent the building to us, because the EPC grading is grade F, and it has to be D and above to have it. They said, I'm not in receipt of the condition report, so I can't say, but I have actually seen an asbestos report, although I think I shouldn't have seen the asbestos report because it wasn't mine to see, but somebody left it out, so I read it. We would seek to obtain the building from yourselves by way of general disposal consent, England 2003, and in accordance with the Local Government Act 1972, which for those who don't know is you can have the building for best and less consideration if it's considered valuable asset to the community. We believe we can achieve the requirements for improving the local economic, social and environmental well-being of Aldercar and Langley Mill, and then I list economic improvements, we aim to provide opportunities to local people to improve skills aimed at a variety of age ranges, such as those not in or limited education, whereby they use their time proactively in skill-based learning in carpentry, plumbing and cycle repair via my contacts with Ridewise in Nottingham. I used to work for a youth offending team in Nottingham a long time ago. Engaging with young people at this level, it will also assist the local constabulary in mitigating some of the youth crime in the area, particularly the fast food region of Langley Mill. Furthermore, during the use on Wednesday afternoon for bingo coffee and games, I invited other agencies to join us. This entailed coupled with a copper, for which our local community safety officer team, Liz, would pop in with donuts. She did, or donuts. Some of our group were able to engage with this, improving both on their own safety awareness and their perception of local policing. We will seek to reinstate this at the earliest opportunity. Then I mentioned the Citizens Advice Bureau who used to come in, we would seek to reinstate that. The YMCA, I also invited them in on a Wednesday afternoon. They would prepare like maths games and escape rooms, which were bordering on maths, so you had to solve the problems, escape from the room, and they want to come back in, and they would like to they have a scheme whereby they teach parents the math that the children are learning at school, so the parents can go home and help the children, and hence continue up the social scale and get better standard of education hopefully, and go on to better work prospects. Signposting to other agencies, I've put here more to add to that because we do quite a bit of signposting to other agencies. Then I've got social improvements, and for 18 months we've used the building for a coffee game space, moan, chat, engage with all ages and have a midweek break to get out of the house. I've run this myself and funded it myself. Sought a local chess competition player to come in and teach chess to interested members of the group requiring further skills to help develop. We hold quite a large book exchange due to the lack of a local library, and it's actually on my dining table at the moment. Due to the lack of a local library and or the lack of a bus service on the estate to allow many to use the nearest library. I understand also that our nearest library is under threat of closure, and as such we would seek to continue with this successful idea and move it forward into a more formal arrangement, engaging more of the local community, investing in young book reading sessions, particularly in half-term and holidays. Latterly, I've taken over the bingo due to pre-illness. This is at lunchtime for that to continue to provide an opportunity for socially isolated individuals to engage with similar participants, often ladies aged 55 up, lost partners, husbands, and who would otherwise be isolated at home. Considering the petty crime that goes on in there, they're quite isolated up on that side of the estate. Somewhat reliant upon doctor's surgery, the nearest of which is actually based in Hena, for medication or for chatter. Example, the bingo ladies pick each other up, no local bus service. They come down to bingo, and that's now morphed into them going out for tea afterwards. So they all bog off, they either go to the garden centre for tea afterwards, or they take off to Brinsley Lodge.
Yes.
There's like 5 of them crammed in a car, all going down to the £8.50 for a 3-course dinner at Brinsley Lodge. But that would not have happened had they not got together in that space. We've advertised the local group. We have in the region of 15 to 30 people attending, except when on holidays, depending on holidays. We've had age ranges that currently age range from actually 18 to 86, so I put 26 to 86. We've had as young as 3 toddlers with parents that came in. And I've gone on about how we cross the age range, so the older people are revitalised by the youth coming in. They moan about the cross payments and everything and not getting payments. I've gone on about Dylan, who's got a new job, Peter, who's got early onset Parkinson's and is not judged, environmental well-being. In the immediate future we would seek to best improve the building so as to upgrade the EPC and running costs. I've had offer of assistance from a company in Hena, Roll Store. I've also had an offer of assistance. There's a cafe closing in Hena in Langley Mill very shortly, and I've had offer of assistance to run a community cafe from there by the ladies who are finishing in October, so they would be happy to consider a 2 to 3 day week lunch times, because there is quite a good kitchen space there. So I'm also in talks with Derbyshire Community Transport or other similar suppliers as well to provide for a shopping bus once or twice a week, using the centre as one of the main stops along there. Noted the proximity of the building to Bailey Brook, considered the use of the small trees in the garden to assist. I also go on about a small greenhouse and using our own produce in the kitchen, hot desking and room hire, rental of the office space to small local businesses done well. We can incorporate this as part of a receptionist because the offices are quite split from the main room where young groups might use. I've also suggested that we would be looking to take on a project manager for the first 12 months to get it up and running to help out. I couldn't do that because apparently I'd be on the committee and that would be conflict of interest. It then asked me for a timing basis and I've just said, well, you know, given the fact that I started this ball rolling back in February, I said, right, if not by the start of next financial year in April, which is 7 months away, then we'll have it in the next 12 months. And in conclusion, I've said, please read in conjunction with the previous business plan, advertising building the centre. Right, we will employ a project manager for at least 12 months to pull all plans together and form a focus on advertising and building the centre to what we believe to be its full potential in providing a much needed space within the community with very little of any provision, no doctor, dentist, library, very little social space outside of a pub or fast food restaurant, limited green space to a poorly maintained dog walking field and another set to disappear under housing, a new housing scheme. Intended times, initial times we'd probably open 10 while 4 until we could build it up, and then we'd be open to renting buildings, parties, local 60th birthdays and such like. They ask us how the offer will be funded. Through self-funding, lottery grant application and donations, to which end we've engaged Amber Valley CVS to assist. Going forward with several offers of assistance from local trades to provide initial fixing and decor tenders and rental from other agencies, we expect will cover some of the ongoing costs. I've got more to add because my colleagues are adding. Timescale. And then I just say, you know, we're a group of local people that have come together knowing that Aldercar and Langley are poorly served in many aspects by many services. The centre is perfectly placed within the community in terms of sighting from the main road and footfall from the local co-op and nursery to offer a wide range of necessary services to address some of this imbalance. Whilst we appreciate DCC not wanting to set such a precedent, we believe that the potential enhancement to the Aldercar and Langley area is an opportunity not to be missed. In conjunction with our previous building business outline, we hope you can look upon our on the above favourably. Yours sincerely, Charlie Burnley, LLB ONS. Just thought I'd throw that bit in, just so I'm smacking in the face with it. Andy Quinn and et al. So that's where I'm at, and we're currently going through that with a view to going back to our funding people next week to see if they think it's possible. You did go over the funding, it addled my brains a little bit, but
you've had a good 15 minutes.
thank you. Thank you very much.
A lot more.
Chair, can I just add that
Yeah, of course you can.
we wrote to Derbyshire County Council and the only correspondence we've had from them is that the County Council cannot deal direct with Parish Council, that the building would go to the open market at that point. This is probably before you put in your cases. But the question that I still would like to ask is, we've had the figures that show, regardless of what it costs to get the building, the actual costs for running the building over the last 3 years have ranged from 17,000 all the way up to 34,000 per year.
Yeah.
And that's including income of £12,000 from the Early Years Alliance, which cuts it down. So the question that I wanted to ask is, what does this group want from the Parish Council? Still haven't got an answer. What do you want from us? Because I don't think this council is in a position to be funding purchasing a building, or indeed funding the running of the building.
Yeah, well, I understood that from last time I spoke to you, but as it's in Langley and Aldercar, I think it's a prime opportunity for the Parish Council to be involved in, even if it's not to fund it or to purchase it. But I do want the backing of the Parish Council, because I think it's important that as a group you get behind our offer and say, yeah, we believe in this woman, we believe in this group, she's taken it this far, she's still badgering us. And yeah, you know, show your faces, come and see what we've been doing. Well, you can't now because we've been ousted, but, you know, and I think even if you can't fund anything, the principle of you being behind us, I can't do this on my own, that's why I've gathered these people around me. I can't do it on my own, I have taken it as far as I can on my own, and I'm now proceeding with a group of about 7 of us now. And I have put in this that the parish council would be interested in committing time or energy or something to this building. Whether you pick up a paintbrush and come and help us paint the outside of the building or anything, I think it's important going forward that you are involved, even if you just know exactly what's happening and what we're doing, and even if you want to say, oh great, we've got children's space down there, we've got an issue with the police officer who's dealing with this person. We have that space. The space is incredible and good space for young people. You know, I put in here in this response that we would want to find somebody who can reinstate the youth club that they used to be on a Thursday, but we're aware that there's the boxing club and the cricket club, and we're willing to work with HENA as well, so that we cover practically every evening of the week where there's something for the youth to do, they can pick in. And you know, given the fact that Liz has just been down and told us what trouble they're having, I think this is just a fantastic opportunity. And I know it's at the other end of Langley Mill where there is limited services in terms of buses, etc. So I think it would be advantageous of you to be in the knowledge, so to speak. Even if I have to sit here and do this on my own and everybody turns around and says no, I cannot walk past that building with them putting houses on it thinking I haven't tried.
Okay, yes.
Charlie, can I ask if that building's been registered as an asset of community value?
I
can't find it on Emma Valley Borough Council's website.
I wouldn't know, but Alan Shepherd in the
So community can do that. So as a
Yeah.
community group, a community interest group, you can register it as a community of an asset of community value. So you can nominate libraries, community centres, pubs, shops, green spaces that are of value to your community by registering them as an asset. You can then use the community right to bid if the asset ever comes up for sale, and the community can have up to 6 months to raise the funds to bid for it. At the end of that period, it's entirely up to the owner to determine who they sell it to and for what value, but it gives you an extra string.
Yeah.
So it's well worth having a look
Yeah, I
at
think,
that. registering
thank
that.
you, yeah. I think the chap who's dealing with the funding might be probably more in the knowledge of that.
Yeah, but it's not on Amber Valley's website, so it's not currently registered
Right.
as an asset of community value. So I'd say that's quite a high priority for you to get that on there, because it gives you that extra power as a community to bid in for that building.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
In terms of the cost of the building, when you were saying the running costs, obviously we've put in that we do some immediate work to try and bring the EPC up and hopefully lower some of those running costs. We are looking for people in the local trades areas, and there are a fair few around here that could help. And I mean, I had a conversation with colleagues earlier, and they were saying, oh, they wouldn't go for £50,000 if we offered them £50,000. I think they want between 125 and 150,000, and I don't think they'll get that, given the fact that they just want to sell the building and the frontage, not the car park or anything else. I don't think they'd get that anyway. And then they would not get that they might get a lot more if they sold the whole lot together and put houses on it, which I think would be their next plan. However, I said, well, if we offer £50,000 and it's currently costing them 25-30 to run it every year, then we're not offering them £50,000, we're offering them 80, essentially. They'll get £50,000 and they'll get the costs taken off them, so it's £80,000 they'd be getting offered. So that was my thinking today on it. I am no expert in this. I have just got bee in my bonnet that this would be a fantastic idea for the community. I am not, by any stretch, an expert on buying community buildings. It would be my first if we managed to do this. saying, so,
Definitely get it on that register.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Remind me again at the end, I'm right down. So, I'm sorry I've overspent my 15 minutes, I'm probably gone into lots of other people's 15 minutes.
Okay, then move on then, Chair, you've got a debate to have later on in the meeting.
Well,
Just an interest, just a
yeah,
face
yeah,
of
yeah.
interest.
Yeah,
So I can stick it on the bottom of that email and say, yeah, the parish council are very interested in using this building, painting it.
No, police have been. So, have you anything for us, Ari, today?
No.
Nothing at all? Well, like you know, we got something to tell us. No? Any questions for our?
I just wondered if there was any news about what's happening, going to be happening on the site of the Working Men's Club. No.
No, that isn't right. I'm constantly writing to them every month. I think it's on one of these where I write, and we still don't get an answer. No. And I keep walking by with the dog, just to have a look to see if they've put in any, but there's nothing gone through on planning, so
No.
I don't know. I don't know if they've got a buyer or looking for a buyer or what they're trying to do, to be honest.
That's fine. I don't know. I just wondered if you...
No, sorry.
Any more questions for our board councillor? No? No. Dispensations, Andrew? Any dispensations for anybody? No.
No,
Not at all.
not at all, Chair.
Can I just add it? For 30 seconds. When Liz was talking about the co-op
Yes,
and shoplifting,
yes.
when I was actually in the building one Wednesday afternoon, I was making the coffees and teas, and I looked out of the kitchen and I see this chap with a basket
Right.
running up the path in front of me. And I'm like, what's he doing with that basket? There. Oh yeah. Oh, hey, you, stop. And I went out to the door, and as I went out to the door to have a look, I saw a woman following with another basket. And then I looked across, saw the car they got in, noted the registration, noted the description of the car, noted the description of them, noted where they left the baskets, went back to the co-op and gave them all the details. Because I was in that building on a Wednesday afternoon.
Right. Right.
And you're a proactive citizen.
That's right. And I didn't get myself stabbed, I just took pen and paper.
Penny's mightier than the sword, eh? Right, moving on. Meeting on the 26th, has anybody got any problems with the minutes at all? Or
No, I don't know if they're on
Well,
the
proposal then,
online,
please.
online.
second? Don't forget that, vote on it. Anybody? Yeah. Are you not voted, lovey, no? Are you not voting?
Sorry?
Are you not voting?
Sorry, on the minutes.
Yes.
I've read them and approved them, yes.
You approve.
Sorry, I didn't notice it. I didn't see
No,
anybody.
well, everybody voted, you see, and I thought perhaps you did.
Oh, I didn't see everybody.
No problem. Right, the bus trip. It was a lovely day, but we have found out a bit of information. One or two, most people enjoyed it, it was a good trip, we had 2 buses.
You mean then they'll come on right day? I couldn't do
These things happen, it's your phone.
I couldn't run it. Seriously?
And I had a bus on my own, because I didn't know that she hadn't been on the bus. And I said, oh God, I've got to airline, I'm shattered. And the phone rung at 8 o'clock, I thought, what the hell's this, 8 in the morning, who wants me? And he says, buses aren't here. I says, well, they're not me. And she laughed, I says, why? I says, well, they were last week.
I've got it written in my phone,
Had
I've
it in
got a
your
wall
phone, wasn't it?
calendar, everything. I had to go home. I was meeting my daughter in Skipton. I had to tell everybody.
I think the worst was your lad taking the dog, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He'd had a day off
It's
to
a good
take
job I
the
didn't
dog.
ask our lad to give me a lift down. I wouldn't have imagined the language. I would have turned.
Oh dear. Part of life, rich tapestry.
Pardon?
It's life's rich
I
tapestry.
can't believe it though.
But
Honestly,
one
everybody
Tuesday,
kept
the
saying
trip
to me,
Wednesday.
are you coming on this on the 18th? What, will you be able to go either? No, I'm going to meet prayer in Skipton. I'm going on Parish trip. That's all I've got in my head.
Oh.
Never mind.
never.
Yeah, I tell you, they're getting their nursing home sorted out. I'll be in there in a bit.
Anyway, we had a good trip, but I found a little bit of information. One or two said they didn't see a lot of stores, but I think anyone that had been on the trip, it was, and I mean it was bitterly cold, and I mean cold. It was bitterly cold, and apparently it did affect the amount of stores there was there, because we were talking to somebody who'd been the day before and said there were plenty of stores. But it says, one of the store owners says they're a lot warmer than this. He says it's really, really cold. But a lot of people went on the castle, some went on the boat trip.
I did
And
both.
it's a lovely place. Yeah, it is. It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice place, plenty of places to eat, and yeah, it was nice. Good day, good day. And for once we had a really good, I think you'll all agree, well, them that went on our bus, we had a lovely bus driver. He couldn't
They were both good.
they couldn't be more helpful.
Yeah.
They won't let you touch the equipment. If you got a scooter or anything like that, or wheelchair, won't let you touch them. No, it's my job, I'll do it. You get on the bus. Ever so good, really was, ever so good. And with me being on my own, because I didn't know you went on the bus, you see, so I asked Chris to go on your bus.
I know.
So that left me on my own. But to be fair, 3 or 4 of the people on the bus, they helped me out, like, because I was on the bus bringing them on A and B, which coach, and they were really good, and they gave us a good hand. So it was good. It was a good trip, nice trip. And as I say, the bus driver was tops. He really was tops. Yeah, you couldn't do any more for us. You were brilliant. And you were saying yours were the same, Chris, weren't you?
Fabulous.
So it was a good trip, really good. And we stopped a couple of times, and yeah, it was good. And everybody made themselves, you know, when they stopped for the toilet, they did do 15 minutes and just come straight back again. So we had no bother. It was, yeah, good. Before I went, I don't know if you've remembered, well, there's not many of us here, I did ask you if you think of anywhere to go, different places. Steve, he went a couple of years back to Longleat and Bath. Went to Bath for half a day, and then they went to Longleat in the second part. It was terrific. Yeah, feeding the you could feed the.
It's a fair
It
trip
said Anne went on the same trip with one of her friends a few years back, and she says you could feed the giraffes and everything. She said it was lovely, really, really nice. And all got
Been
every
to
animal.
Bath. I've been there, it's gorgeous, yeah.
And she said then when they went on to Longleat, everything was there, the elephants and everything. So it was a terrific day. So that's one little thought about. There's quite a few. Has anybody else thought of anything? No.
Sue Fowler suggested that the Christmas trip be to Bath in the top 10 market towns.
Right.
That's Stratford, I mean, that's not.
But what we need to do
Well,
today
that was terrific.
I've been
is
there a couple of times,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
Stratford.
Lashed it down all bloody day, didn't
It
it?
was
we
brilliant.
do
wasn't
need
it?
to decide where the Christmas trip is going
Yeah, because
tonight
it's-
and the date, because
yes.
we need to get on with it.
Yes, Robbie.
I've done a list. I've got York is about 2 hours. They've
Yeah.
got a market there.
Yeah, it is.
Leeds takes 1 hour 33 minutes, and that starts from the 22nd of November.
Right.
Coventry takes 1 hour 20, and that's from 15th of November to the 5th of January. Bury, that's about 2 hours 10 minutes trip. Harrogate, that's from the 29th of November to the 15th of
Harrogate's
December.
nice.
Arrogance.
Yeah,
Arrogance
that's
is there,
that's
isn't it?
just
Been
over
there
2
once
hours.
before, haven't we?
Nice,
No,
Harrogate.
Yeah, George Betty's.
It's lovely.
Yeah, that's over,
Coffee shop.
that's over 2 hours though, and then obviously the Sheffield, Lincoln not doing Christmas market because of overcrowding.
Well, it's up to us now, isn't it? Because I agree with you. We can't hang around because it's, well, look at it. It's,
Beamish.
we went to Garden Centre long evening, all they were doing, moving everything out, putting Christmas stuff in. Oh, God, honestly, we haven't seen nothing like it. Christmas cards. Christmas trees, £400 each. That's a nice price.
Well, the light columns are going, the lights are going up on, I think it's the 19th of October in preparation for Christmas.
I know.
Beamish.
Sorry, around the corner.
Beamish
Yes.
Living Museum of the North.
The only thing I'd say about York, having lived there for 3 years,
Yes.
is I wouldn't say it's great for people with slight disabilities.
We've been a lot of times,
Right.
to be honest with
So
you.
the pavement's quite narrow, it's very busy, it's a lot of cobbles and things.
It does,
It's
and
beautiful,
a bit banked on some of the roads as well.
but it's not ideal for people with mobility issues, really.
No, we have been a few times, haven't we,
Yeah.
York? Quite a lot.
Yeah, I love it. I like York.
Yes.
I'm trying to think if I've ever been to Christmas.
We have, haven't we, been to Christmas market at York?
Yeah, of course we have.
Yeah,
we have.
yeah. I know we've been
Yeah,
other
yeah,
times
yeah,
and all.
yeah. But we've got to make our mind up, haven't we? What we're doing.
It's with this Christmas, you want it to be somewhere that's not nicer, but somewhere that's a bit more quaint. So Harrogate's probably the best out of those. I mean, I'm sure Leeds and Sheffield are just as nice. Sheffield's a bit local, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Does it
Yeah.
have to be a Christmas market?
Sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never actually been to Sheffield shopping. I've been to Meadowhall.
I mean, Leeds would be a new one, I guess,
Yeah.
but it doesn't sound as glamorous, does it? It's
They're going to spread Leeds out because of it's a big circle, isn't it? Leeds.
Oh, is it? I wonder how
Yeah,
they
it is. You're right.
I've never been, so I don't know.
We'll have to make a decision, won't we?
What's Bury like?
Bury's a massive northern. I mean, I'm from up there.
There's more life.
Yeah.
There's more life in a tramp's vest.
No, it's a very big. No, it's a very
But that's
big.
not necessarily just the market.
It's always
Oh, it is, obviously.
It's,
Yeah, it is a big. It's one of the best
Yeah, I know
markets
it.
in the northwest. It is, but I don't know if Christmas-wise.
I don't think they do a
Leeds-
Christmas market.
No.
That's all.
Leeds
Should
has offered
be
quite a lot
Yeah.
in addition to a Christmas market, being a very big city. So
Yes,
that's
yeah,
it's huge.
You could pop into Leeds
So
or
you could do,
whatever.
well, yeah, I'm assuming it'll be quite in the centre, so there's a lot around there to do.
Leeds in
It'd be
it.
better disabled access as well, Leeds.
Would it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would it
Quite-
attract
it's quite
many
modern,
people
it's
because
quite
it doesn't
modern.
sound as
Doesn't sound
I know, that's
exotic, does it?
Yeah,
No.
nice
No,
design.
no,
So
it
it's
is.
just a bit crowded out wherever we go on,
Mm.
because a lot of... Then again, we go midweek, so optimistically we should be less people than if we were picking it for a Saturday or a Sunday.
Well,
Optimistically.
Was it
Leeds
Harrow
starts on
March?
the 22nd of November.
And is there a market most
At
days?
Leeds, there's a market. The Christmas market starts on the 22nd of November.
When's Harrogate
Right.
Christmas market?
29th of November to the 15th of December.
That's Christmas, then, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that's all I'm thinking of. You know. It's right on top of it, isn't it? Christmas.
It's an hour and a half to Leeds, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all, yeah.
So-
Yeah,
So
so
it's
you
only a
can go
little bit
straight.
further to Harrogate.
You can do Leeds in an hour if you want.
Yeah.
Straight
Gives
to
you more
Leeds.
time there, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's just,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, what will people want in the parish?
Yes.
Will they want somewhere that sounds nicer?
Harrogate sound.
Oh, it is a nice and
Glasgow, to
glass.
be fair.
Yeah.
It's Harrogate.
It is a nice place, Harry.
It is lovely.
Lovely.
That I've never been.
It's very clean as well.
Yeah.
Very clean place.
Why would you want to go there? I mean, we've got nothing now. This side of the street.
To take people out into the world.
We had more wine. I had more wine.
Sorry?
One sided. One sided. There was a store.
Yeah.
We had one sided.
Yeah, that's a place. See, Newark's not really far enough, is it? Newark,
What's
it's
that?
not very far, is it?
It's clean.
No, it's a nice place. There's the castle and places.
Yeah.
Cleaner the tramp's best.
Are there other things for people to do apart from the market in Harrogate? Because I don't
There's that famous Auntie Betty's, isn't there? That tea shop.
Yeah.
Where everybody queues.
There's lots of arcades there that you can go shopping in.
Yeah, but I have been. Yeah, we went actually once, me and Anne. And, yeah, there's quite a lot of shops like arcades, like alleyways with lots of
Most
shops.
of them on the second course just wanted the pubs, so if the pubs in Harrogate, they'll be alright. That's all they
Well,
want.
there's
the pubs.
plenty, yeah. I mean, on the main
They didn't
street
know.
where the old spa used to
Yeah.
be. That's the
Yeah.
Witherspoons, isn't it?
Yeah, well, them that were on the second course that I was on, when they were coming back, they didn't even know there was a castle.
Did they not?
No.
Bowerton Castle.
Yeah, oh, the Castle Inn, yeah, they didn't know there was a castle. They said, oh, well, we went in Wetherspoons, and then we did the Duke of York, and then we did the red line.
So what we're looking at?
Harrogate.
Harrogate,
When then?
Bolton.
Bolton.
Bolton Christmas Festival. Victoria Square will also welcome a traditional Christmas market from the 15th to the 18th of December with 30 chalet style stalls even, offering a wide range of blah blah blah.
Yeah, sounds like Nottingham.
Yeah, it does sound like
Sounds just like Nottingham, doesn't it? Yeah.
And Nottingham haven't got that many, have they? Just in
No.
Market Square. Once you
So
go
many
down one line,
markets.
that's it.
Yeah.
Well, they're nice lights and they're I think Harrogate
Harrogate.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
There's other things to look at.
Yeah,
People may not be wanting to go for the Christmas market, they
Yeah.
might just want to go to the town.
Yeah, it's like it is.
Harrogate start from the 29th of November to the 15th of December.
29th of Friday.
10 to 4:30.
Friday, the 5th or the 12th.
But we're showing about to us Thursday, because we also
Fifth of
on
December.
Thursday.
So it's either the 5th or the 12th. So for 2
Thursday the
weeks.
12th.
They've gone to Thursday, yeah.
If you have it on Thursday the 5th, you're excluding all the Heen accounts, because...
Yes, well they don't go anywhere because they come the week after, don't they? So we'll go on the 5th. We'll go on the 5th and she can go on the 12th.
No, you're right, no, we're not...
Pardon?
I don't think Heen have a council meeting in December.
We usually have a break, don't we, in August and
Yeah.
In December.
We don't have a meeting in December anyway, do we?
no.
If we say 5th
So
of
5th of
December,
December.
do you want me to come and call for you that morning?
Yeah,
We'll
Do
pick
you
you
know,
up. Not to pick you up.
people kept saying to me, I see it on trip, but nobody ever said to me the date. So I never, and we don't get magazine as well, because I don't live on,
You have to, because you have to
in
go in the
Angry
coach,
now.
won't you?
I live just, well, I live
Yeah.
just at the bottom.
Just one
Near
coach,
the
yeah.
cricket ground, don't
Use
they?
it on
So we
Monday.
don't
Yeah.
get magazine, you see.
Yeah, just order one.
So,
It might be a bit more expensive to go.
nearer to Christmas, yeah.
Still did the same old trick again, we had the 60-seaters.
Did they?
Yeah.
A big seater.
Mine
I ordered
were
253
nearly
seaters.
60-seaters on mine.
Yeah, it's great.
We're going
Yeah.
to specify in the receipts.
It depends on what you've got.
Yeah, it all depends what the
They
standard
do it every year, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, the 5th is in the middle as well, isn't it? Because it's only on for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
well, it starts
That's
29th to the
Yeah,
15th.
2 weeks, yeah.
Start when?
Yeah, 29th to the
That's-
15th,
yeah,
so
that's-
it's the
that's
first,
good.
middle
It's
week,
Christmas.
middle of the first week.
That's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
after, you know.
Yeah.
It's right in Christmas,
Yeah.
aren't it?
It's the beginning
Yeah.
of the Christmas.
Yeah, that'll do.
Shall we, you want to propose it then, somebody?
Yeah, I'll propose we could
Second.
say
I'll
Harrogate.
second it.
And can we have a vote on it then?
Yeah, Harrogate.
There we go. Sorted.
And then councillors that aren't here can't say, well, why are you going to Harrogate? Because if they were here, they could have had a say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Because you get impact, don't you?
You do?
Yeah.
I do.
Well, you don't need it, do you? If they were here, they'd have a say. So why would I go after it?
Christmas, aren't
It's like saying, I don't win the lottery, do you buy a ticket? No.
No. Really then.
Yeah, no.
More Christmas.
Has everybody got
And they're
it?
all
Yeah.
York.
No, I'm going to report on it.
Are you going to report on it? Right, Andrew, your report then.
Yeah, the usual, in terms
Oh, the usual.
of accounts for payment. Just for you to note, in July 2024, you spent £24,560. If anybody would like a breakdown, they can pick one up. But that was basically because you paid for your Christmas lights that we're going to be
Yeah.
having,
Yeah, we did.
or you paid for your summer planters.
Yeah.
You paid grants out to the Lions Den Boxing Club and the Langley Mill Cricket Club.
Yeah.
So the rest of them were small from it. Built up into quite a lot, and I think you need to bear in mind that 24,000 was a lot of money to spend for that month.
Was.
And we've got applications later on that have implications as well. You started with £125,000 in balances. I suspect with the money we've been putting out into the community, at the start of next year you'll be down into the 90,000. So you'll have spent £35,000-40,000. Your balances are going down year on year on year. So they're really just to note those. The same today, we have received our second part of the council tax, which is £48,000. So that's propped us up a bit, but balances were starting to get low with what we're spending. And lastly, the external auditor report has come out. There are no issues at T-Raisers in the way that we manage our accounts and our spending, and the notice will be published on the 30th of September to that effect.
Well, thank you for the good job you're doing on it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
was quite shocked though at his fee. When you consider our internal auditor charges £150 and PKFJ Littlejohn charges £580 to rubber stamp those accounts this year.
That's where the money is, though.
Yeah.
Yes, look.
I was just at a governors meeting at Langley Milford on Tuesday, and they were just saying that they hadn't heard anything with regard to the grant that they'd applied for. Now, I know we did discuss this at a meeting previously, but they haven't had any information regarding it, so I don't kind of know how the communication works.
I'll have to look into it and get back to you because I know there has been communication over it, and I
Okay.
think we've had all sorts of things going backwards and forwards in terms of
Okay.
SLAs and things like that. But again, I think we are in a position that I'm going to come on to in a minute or two. So I'll link it to that application for
Okay.
grant aid if I may.
Yeah.
Just to report on allotment, because we are being filmed, I won't go into a lot of detail on this one, but we had our first eviction from one of the allotment sites this week. I'd like members to note that we have done that. I've explained the circumstances to the chairman because I wouldn't be surprised if the person who was evicted wants to take it further with a complaint to the chairman or whatever. I think we were totally justified to terminate that tenancy. And we will be re-letting it, so just so you're aware, and I'll perhaps let members know the circumstances of that by email rather than at the meeting today because we're on camera.
Okay.
Applications for grant aid. We have an application in today from SendFit CIC. It really comes off the back of you giving Infinite Wellbeing £5,000 in the July meeting. It's a sort of spin-off from Infinite Wellbeing, and they are looking for a grant of £5,000. They provide fitness, health and wellbeing support to children and adults with special educational needs and disabilities. We do this through a variety of services such as a holiday club and tea time club sessions for 8 to 16-year-olds. And the purpose of the grant would be to supply and fit flooring for the gym and support the group space, to support and fit new accessible toilet including support rails, to purchase equipment, and basically the grant would help them to support more individuals with their SEND activities. They have unrestricted funds of £7,000 that they hold, of £2,000 is what they hold at the moment. They calculate their annual income at £7,794 with an expenditure of £5,021. My comments on this one, although it's another great service, the parish council can't prop up every service that comes along.
Whereabouts are they based then?
They're based down on Queen's Road, Langley Mill, same as Infinite Wellbeing Unit 2.
Right. Are they in one of the units then?
Yeah. That I certainly don't think, I think you've virtually, in my view, exhausted your grants budget. You have exhausted, you had about £15,000 in your grants budget and you've spent nearly £25,000 on grants already this year. So I think you need to think carefully of it. And that's the same leading on to the school one. We've given money before. We can't continue to keep propping up services that have had their funding cut by Derbyshire County Council and the Valley Borough Council, etc. So I'd like you to think carefully on what you might allocate to this. You don't have to allocate to everybody, but I think we feel that we've got to, because we've got that application in front of you. It's for a good cause. How far do you go? You're going to come on later to the children's centre. It would be lovely if you could reach into your pocket and say, we'll put £50,000 down to help that group purchase that building. But you just really don't have those funds. You're watching your balances go down and down and down.
How much have they asked for, Andrew?
Sorry?
That's
5,000.
5,000.
The word's got round, I think, that we give £5,000.
£5,000 away willy-nilly.
I mean, I can remember when it used to be £150.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just,
So is there more than one unit then there?
I think there's a number of units, split into a number of units. Infinite Wellbeing do one, and next door to them is Senfit CIC. They've all formed as CICs so they can raise money, and we're going to be the first port of call that they'll put their grant applications in. And I think there is no doubt local government, parish councils are seen as a soft touch, that if you put a grant application in, they'll at least give you something.
yes, look.
Can we not write back to them and say, because you listed some of the stuff they want to buy, how much would it cost you for, I don't know, flooring or some, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, a breakdown and we'll help you.
Yeah,
with
so
the
that we could
yeah.
say, well, we've bought you mats or we've bought you flooring or whatever.
But that was spread like wildfire, and then there'd be somebody else coming in with the same idea. Don't forget that. No, they would.
Well, they're doing that now, aren't they?
They're bound to.
They're doing
They're
that
bound to,
now.
aren't they? Yeah.
I'm not saying giving them all the money, but
Oh,
we
no,
could
no,
say,
no.
like,
I think you would be better probably passing a resolution to say that next financial year we will consider applications for grants in July, and that's it.
Yeah.
We'll have a grant
Do it that way,
process.
yeah.
Put your application in so you can look at your budget
Yeah.
and say you've got £15,000 to allocate. We've got these 7 organisations asking for money, and you can decide where you chop up your grant without feeling obligated to keep spending. Because at the end of it all, you can spend all your money here and give another £5,000 away, and in December I'll be coming back to you to say I think you need to put your council tax up by £10,000 to make up for all the money you're giving away in grants.
Right. I've had an apology from Basilia. I don't know what's gone off, and I don't know how it worked, but I remember, because I ain't got dementia, we passed a resolution to give them that help, can you remember? Last meeting, we said we'd give Basilia some money, but they've got to give them the form, the grant form. Can you remember it? I can. Well, and anyway, they never got a form. They didn't remember anything about any form, so we decided that it didn't look like they were going to get it, they didn't know what was happening, and they went and did it themselves, but I did explain to them, I said, well, I can assure you, don't think it was us, because we passed a resolution to give you the money, and you should have got a form to fill in, we'd already passed it, and you would have got your money. And she said, well, we're really struggled. She said, well, in the end we thought, well, nothing's happening, so they went and did it on their own. And I says, anyway, but to be fair, they said, oh, sorry, we didn't realise. I says, well, I don't know what's gone off, but all I know is we definitely passed a resolution for you to have some money. And you just got to fill the form in, and it was all sorted. And apparently she never saw no form. Nobody gave her a form. So, I don't know. I don't really want to comment on it, but it's quite obvious that it didn't happen, did it? Nobody gave her a form, and like she said, well, I didn't know what to do, so I was just told us we've got to get this form. But anyway, she did, she said, I'm sorry, but we've been and done it ourselves.
So what are we
So I'm not
deciding
giving them
on
anything.
Senfit?
It's all about this one. Right, hang on. You were first, Lovey, yeah.
Is anybody from Infinite Wellbeing here tonight?
No.
No.
No,
Right, that's one.
I can't. I was just,
Second.
I think Andrew's suggestion is a really good way forward, because if you're not careful, you're going to expire your grants budget March, April, May, June time. So having a grant funding round or more than one round if you have budget left over at the end of it is an effective way forward to manage your budget and making sure that you're not overspending on your grants applications.
That's a good idea.
Moving forward, I think that is a really good
Yeah.
move
I
forward.
don't think.
Yeah, similar sort of thing, I was going to say, obviously, you know, it needs a bit of a boundary setting.
Yeah.
I was like this year as an example, or last year, you know, we ended up forking out thousands on the skips and the clearance at Langley Mill that it all came to the parish, we paid, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
But I don't think people knew that, did they? It's,
No, they didn't.
Unfortunately, it cost us thousands, isn't it? But digressing, what I'm thinking is, if companies are associated, potentially like this one, there's a connection, then perhaps if we were not setting a limit, but if we were on the last time, obviously we gave grants of £5,000, we ought to perhaps share that between an organisation. You know, if we were perhaps allocating X amount, if they're associated companies, then that amount is divided amongst the different sections of that company or that charity,
Right.
rather than saying, well, we'll give X amount to them, to them, to them, to them, because it's not really fair, is it? Because we could then help more people out.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, just
You know, split it
cut it up a bit.
split it between the two or three or something, and then, as you say, it gives us the opportunity to help others out.
Yeah. Yes, I.
That's what I mean. Ask
I get
them,
it.
if we are considering doing it this time, do you want some equipment? We'll just pay for that. So they get something, but then be a lot more stricter this time next year.
I think, you know, you look at what they want to do. You know, that £5,000 might do one of those jobs. They're asking for a new accessible toilet. That'll be costing over £5,000 in the building. They want to fit flooring in the gym, which will be a springy flooring. That'd probably be £15,000.
Yeah.
They're just asking for a grant of £5,000 to help cover their costs.
Yes, Chris.
Yeah, is there any way that we can write to these and say, look, as a parish council we're a limited amount of money, we've paid out, and unfortunately we are exceeding, we are exceeding our grants budget, but you will be considered at our next financial year, and just more or less we're not saying we're not going to give you anything, but you're not getting it yet. Sort of, you know, like that sort of thing.
Yes, look.
That's kind of what I was going to say, that I agree again, Andrew, that it might be worth going back to them and saying, unfortunately, but our budget for our community grants has been fully utilised this financial year, but you know, we will open a new round of funding in whenever. And we welcome your application at that point and consider all applications at the same time on value and merit rather than individually throughout the year, because they all have value and they all have merit. It's just making sure that you are getting the most, it's equitable, but it's also, you know, you're getting the most for the community, the wider Langley Mill, Aldercar Langley community as well.
Yes, look. It was you next, Violet.
Yeah,
How you doing?
yeah, sorry. I think as they did start life in HENA, you may be slipping into the realms of supporting their HENA as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry to be...
Didn't you say earlier on that you was going to support Eden or something? You did, in your speech.
Yeah.
Chair, I'm sorry to butt in, and it'll sound a bit old-fashioned, but Charlie is not a member of the council and shouldn't be speaking during the debates that you're having, I'm afraid, unless you decide to move that you suspend standing orders to allow her to speak. You know, I get into all sorts of trouble all over the county on this one, so just thought I would mention it.
Yeah.
Could we pass a motion or whatever to say that grants of, you know, we're going to relook at grants next year, but they're closed for this year.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So
particularly if there's a risk of having to look at increasing council tax next year, which obviously the parish isn't going to want, parishioners aren't going to want that, are they?
Well, I don't think there is on that. I mean, it depends how far you are prepared to take your balances down to. a few years ago you had £150,000 in reserves,
Yeah, we did.
and ideally you could run this council with £40,000 in reserves, so that gave you a block of £100,000 or whatever that could be dished out into the community, or indeed used to open an office. Now we've opened an office but not purchased any freehold, so that's freed up a little bit of money. But if you spend all that money and cut it down to 40,000, you've decided forever that you will not buy an office because you'll never have that opportunity again because the money's gone.
Yeah.
So it's just a case of being balanced. We took a view that we would start reducing our balances by about £20,000 to £30,000 each year and gradually see it drop. And we're sort of this year heading towards, I can see us overspending by £40,000-50,000 because of what we've done. But that won't make us into a bad council. We're putting that money out into the community.
Right.
No, but we've always been great. We've bailed out
Yeah,
Christmas market. The Christmas markets amounts we bailed out for thousands as well.
That's
Yeah, well,
coming
it's
on to
cost
that.
us.
Coming on to that, Chair.
I think, can I second that
Yeah.
resolution then? I think maybe on reflection we should say that we've always got to the end of the amount we've allocated this year, or above the
Yeah, I
amount
think it's
we've
been agreed
allocated.
that we're right to say that we've closed our grant application process this year, but we welcome organisations to apply possibly
reapply.
January time, and
definitely.
we'll consider it as part of next time on
Good idea.
Because everyone's really
Yeah.
We did
Yeah,
these, weren't we?
yeah, that's right, yeah.
Like Chris said, and we were lucky to get anybody want any money out of it.
So
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a sizable chunk, £5,000, isn't it? Let's be fair. It is. It's a good chunk.
that brings us on then, Chair, to a possible council vacancy. I'm saddened to announce today that Councillor Halsworth is likely to submit a resignation, I think, this month.
Oh dear.
And I'm sure she can tell yourself, and I've got to say, I will be sad to see her go.
Oh, as well, yeah, it's a shame.
It's not because I'm upset about anything. No,
Are you happy enough with us?
I'm very happy with you, yes. And I've really enjoyed being on the council. It's just simply that my husband has decided to retire.
Right.
And obviously because we live in a church house, because obviously he's a minister,
Yeah.
then once he finishes his job, we need to leave and go back to our family home, which is actually up in Flamborough near Bridlington. So we will be moving back to Flamborough.
So you didn't fancy coming up on a Tuesday then, or a Thursday?
That's a nice place to go.
Not doing all bad today.
What the mileage
A bit nearer.
So, Chair, can we record our thanks?
We can.
Yes.
You bet we can.
In the
Yeah.
minutes for
Yeah,
possibility.
Yeah. Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed being part of it, and I would have loved
Well, on behalf of the council, all of us would like to thank you for your input, without a doubt. Yes.
Pardon? He'll probably carry on in some form, yeah, but in a retired capacity now. Yes. We're both 65 this year, so we've kind of got to that point where we've
Where
just
you want to
we've
retire.
made that decision. Yeah, it's time to retire.
right.
Well, it's time for him to retire. Yes, it's time for him to
I love
retire.
it.
Yes.
So,
I'm
Chair,
not being retired, it's true.
next one then is events. We have booked Santa
Yes, we have.
characters
Yes.
for the 7th of December. That's a Saturday.
Yeah.
I have seen today, though, that there is an application being consulted on for a Cromford Road Market and Fair on Sunday, the 8th of December. I assume that is an event being sponsored by Councillor Stevenson and his daughter. I suppose just to warn you really that I can see that might mean another request
For money.
for help for
Unbelievable.
funding. I think we've already passed a
Oh, yeah.
resolution that this council does not want to get involved in that.
No.
However, it does seem a bit difficult if there's a a street fair on the 8th and we're putting Santa on the 7th,
It must be
maybe
on the
we
8th then,
ask him, can they do the 8th? But that may be really problematic because it was difficult to get these people with dates that were available.
Yeah.
I have spoken to Councillor Palmer and he hasn't been approached for fair rides in his yard.
Oh.
And I understand he doesn't want fair rides in his yard.
No.
So really just to warn you that one's coming up is something we may have to address and we may have to adjust our plans because it will look pretty silly if we
It looks
run
like
an
we're
event on
poo-pooing it every
Saturday.
time,
Doesn't it?
because he
Yeah.
comes in and...
So maybe we, if
and
he's
we have
going
to
to
go.
run it, that we've got to swallow it and say, yeah, we'll put Santa on, but we're not getting involved in the organisation. We'll just be, even if we have to turn around, yeah, we'll pay £150 store fee, we'll have our little
Yeah,
bit,
we'll
but
have
we're
a little
not,
bit, yeah. Yeah.
not going to be involved in your fireworks and all that type of stuff.
No, we don't, no. Yes, look.
I think we
We
should
don't
look
see
at
it,
Santa
say.
is available
Yeah.
that day, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. I know he's busy, but I think we should look at
Well, he's busy wrapping presents because
I'm
I have.
making
I know.
toys at the
I
minute.
have managed to get my hands on 200 copies of The Owl That Came for Christmas, which is a book that normally sells for £5.99 and we've managed to get them for £1.
Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
well.
Um,
Yeah.
That's nice.
I am stealing labour from Hina because I've got Kerry taking the labels off and straightening, putting labels on saying from Aldercar and Langley Parish Council. She's doing the same for Hina, Councillor Hamilton.
No, I was going to say I could probably shine my eye John into wrapping presents. He's
Yeah.
a lot more neater at wrapping presents than I am.
No, Kerry's already on it now, would you believe? We're into,
Careful,
we're
Andrew,
into
you're on,
September.
Andrew, you're on camera, you know, careful.
Oh yeah, so don't tell the kids. But they look like nice presents, but I think we're going to have to somehow fit in, otherwise
Yeah.
it's going to look
Yeah.
very odd.
Yeah, don't look right,
I
would it?
just wish we'd known about it before it had.
He is.
Well, it's
I was going to say, is this
Yeah.
definite? Because obviously if we change the date to the Sunday, is it actually happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at the moment it is. It's been
Oh,
consulted
yeah.
on. Shh, we are on camera. So,
Can I just ask that we can be clear exactly what our involvement is, though?
Yes,
like you
yes,
say,
well,
we're
I
very,
think
very clear
the
about.
council made that very clear that I'm not to be presenting them with additional bills all the way through December.
Or unpaid
Just-
bills, that last time.
Unpaid
we
bills,
weren't paid,
yeah,
and we
yeah,
had
exactly,
We had to
yeah.
cover the cost of that as well, didn't we?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right, yeah.
so,
Yeah.
We remember, don't we?
Yeah, that steel band didn't get paid, did they? So we had to pay them, didn't we?
Yeah.
yeah.
Shrewsbury.
And
Yeah,
Sweetly, yeah.
yeah, to clear them up.
That was 310 out of nearly a grand.
Yeah, then finally then, Parish Magazine, if anybody has any articles
Oh, yes.
that you would like in the Parish Magazine, we'd really like them by the end of next week.
Yeah. I've done four so far.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then lastly, you do have to have a debate, whether you like it or not, the Langley Mill Children's Centre. Are you happy to, at the very least, give an assurance to Charlie and the other members of the people that are trying to work to save the Children's Centre that the Parish Council, at the very least, are willing to pass a resolution to say that we support them and will assist wherever possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bearing
Yeah.
in mind there are
Yeah.
funding issues, but
Yeah.
this situation could change week by week by week. We don't know.
No.
If they came to you at the end of the day and said, we've got the funds but we're £5,000 short, I'm pretty sure that would change your debate as to whether you wanted to get involved financially or whether you want to get involved in some other way. But would that be acceptable at this point? If the Parish Council are willing to reiterate its support for that,
Yeah.
and again to write to the County Council to say, keep us informed of developments. We don't want something happening out of the blue like, oh, we've just decided to put a for sale board up and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And we'll keep in touch with Charlie over the next few weeks
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
months as things go on.
That's all right, Charlie.
Thank you, yes, yeah.
I propose that then.
And we allow them to put in all the letters that
Yeah.
the parish council supports the group and their aims.
Yeah.
You have a second on it?
Yeah, I'm saying it.
Go everybody. Yeah. Sorted.
So that brings us on to, I'm not bringing any planning and licensing, but that takes us into exclusion of press and public, because I've got some announcements to say we now need to raise with members on staffing.